That's right. Welcome back to Everything at Random. It's your host, Jonathan, aka JR. Um, Today we're gonna dive into something a little bit different, into one of those the dumbest, most painful fucking games that we play with ourselves. It's called chasing closure. Okay. And the only reason I bring this up is because lately somebody brought to my attention that I should be listening to my old stuff. And it's always cringy for me to do that because I'm, we don't really think about how people are going to receive us, or sometimes I do and I don't, but I always feel as though it's cringy to listen to myself because those feelings were there, and it brings back emotions and makes me think about things. And this just was one of those random things that I just needed to get off my chest because like it was hitting me hard when I first started this, you know. It's something that we all deal with, or something that we have dealt with, let it be on, either side of the coin. You ever notice that when something ends, you don't just accept it. We don't just say, that's done, let's just move on. No, we don't do that. We want the pain, we want the hurt, we want to hear the worst things possible just so we can make it real in our heads and feel those things. That's when we ask the questions and we dig deeper and we try to understand it. There's no understanding anything that happens. We already know in relationships they don't want to be with us. We already know in some of the friendships they're over. We already know the job, the situations, the things we lost, it's gone. No matter what it is, we just don't accept it. That's just never enough. We sit there and we beg for one final stab at the heart. We relive those things over and over again. You know what I mean? We tell people, like, tell me that you hate me. Tell me you found someone else, someone better. Tell me I fucked up somehow. Tell me you never cared. You know what I mean? Because at least then it feels complete. You know what I mean? Like that final hurt, that final stab, it's finished. That pain is done. Or at least that's what we tell ourselves, because like we don't know, because we keep on chasing it more and more, because I went down that rabbit hole of looking for closure, let it be in jobs, friendships, or anything like that. But like when I started this, it was because of a relationship, and I'm gonna be honest, we tell ourselves that the pain will finally finish, but it doesn't. Let me tell you right now, closure is a scam. The pain we chase is just us refusing to let go of things. And you can put this across anything that you deal with in life. And I know this because I did it, I do it, I lived it, I'm living it, and everything. But we'll get into it. You know what I mean? Well, let's just get into some of this shit because I can admit it. That's the thing about me. I can admit I was out here chasing closure like a dumbass. I could admit these things, not because I needed it, but because I wanted to suffer in ways. I wanted to hear the most and worst possible things, to have them look at me and in the face and confirm everything I already know. That it was over, that they weren't coming back, that I fucked up and there was no way of me fixing it. And like I said, this goes for anything in life, but at that time it was that relationship. You know what I mean? It was a relationship. And it's not the first time something like that hit me just as hard. You know what I mean? Like I've been in multiple different things in my life, multiple relationships, and I always, when they hit you hard, like it's hard. It's hard to let go, and you're trying to figure out anything, even though when you did the wrong. I was just looking for that final moment of pain, thinking that that one twist would do me in. And why? Because sometimes the pain feels better than the silence. Sometimes we rather hear I hate you, I'm with someone else, there's nothing left here, than to hear nothing at all. Because silence, that's that's like you staring into the abyss. You know what they say, you stare into the abyss, it's going to stare back at you. But the thing is, you're staring forever. And that shit is terrifying. You don't know what's down there. You don't know how hard it may hit you or how hard it's going to weigh on you and for the rest of your life. So sometimes we just drag it out. We check our phones. We keep the conversation going, even when it should have been dead a long time ago. You know, we replay the last words over and over, trying to find something, anything to make sense of it. Which is crazy when we know the answers. But the truth is, there is no sense to be made of it. Okay? It's over. And we have to deal with that. And you know what makes it worse? When we know it's over, but we still keep that door cracked open. Like, even though I didn't get the closure, I kept on keeping that door open and I kept on looking for shit. We do these little things. We send the hey messages just to see if they'll respond. We'll slide into DMs and it'll seem casual, check in bullshit, but we don't really want to check in. We react to their stories for no reason other than to remind them that we still exist, that we're still here. And I'm replaying back in my head, those are the things I was trying to do. And for what? For fucking what? Because if being real, because if we're being real, all that does was make the wound deeper. All I did was drag it out longer. Every hey is another hint of hope that they responded back to. That was just hope for me. Every response is another excuse to keep me waiting. And every little openings kept us from just shutting the fucking door. And I get it. I really do. Like, I'm reliving those things, those moments in my mind, because I know how much that was painful for me. And for them too, to deal with it. You know what I mean? It works both sides, because in different relationships, I was the one closing the door and not giving that information. It hurts because sometimes you left because it was dumb, or it could have been anything, or it was you, or whatever it is. And I get it. Sometimes it's not even us doing it. It's another thing is that we have to consider, sometimes the person who doesn't give you that closure, they're the ones keeping the door open. They won't fully let us go, but they won't let us get close enough either, if that makes sense. They'll give us just enough to keep us around, but not enough to actually stay. And that's real fucking torture. And like I said, I'm reliving it because I'm listening to old episodes of mine, some that I didn't even release. And I did something like this, chasing the closure, trying to figure out what I can do, how I can do it, whatever. And that shit put me in this in this weird place, because I'm a little bit stronger now, but like, to feel that hurt, to relive it, it bothered me. It's real torture when they keep that door open. It's real torture when we try to keep the door open, because now we're not even chasing closure. We're just chasing the illusion that maybe, just maybe, this thing that we had, thing I thought I could have, wasn't really over. And that is exactly why closure has to be something that we create for ourselves, not that we get from somebody else. Because if we don't, we'll just sit there stuck in that doorway, waiting for anything that's never coming, just waiting for like some kind of opening or something like that. And it's never coming. I lived with that for like 2 years. Me listening to it, my old episode that I didn't release, it was hard. It's hard. And it's not only the old episode that made me feel like this, it's not just me. I see this shit happening with other people all the time. Right now, I have a friend, a really close friend of mine. He's going through it. He knows it's done. He knows that she doesn't want to be with him anymore. And he knows that he should leave. And he's like this back and forth thing. But guess what? He won't leave. Not because he thinks they'll work it out. Not because he believes in happy endings. He's not that type of guy. But because he's waiting for her to say the words, get the fuck out. I don't want to fucking deal with you. I'm fucking with somebody else. And like, I'm listening to him and I'm listening to my old episodes and I'm just reminded of everything. Like, he needs her to be the bad guy so he can finally let go. Not accepting what role that he played in it, and I didn't accept the role that I played in it. You know what I mean? Like, and I get it. I do. I really do. Because we love the pain. We love anything that lets us hold on to that person just a little longer, even if its meaning is gonna tear us apart in the process. Like, it allows me to just be closer. Because if they're still here in any form, then they're not fully gone yet. And that's what we cling to. That's what he's clinging to. And that person cares too much. She cares too much for him to say those things. But he keeps on pushing it. And he just wants that torture, that pain. And I feel bad for him. I love him. Love him. And I hate to see him go through it. But I think it makes us stronger. And I don't think no matter anything I say or like how I explain what I went through, it'd make a difference. You have to go through it. You have to learn these things on your own. The hard truth of all of it. Closure isn't real. It's just a concept that we made to feel like we're in control in some type of way. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you can stop torturing yourself. Because what we're really chasing isn't closure. It's illusion that something could have ended differently. We don't need to know why. We just need to accept that it happened. And it's a hard pill to swallow. I know. Listening to him, listening to myself talk about it, it's a hard pill to swallow, because no matter of the final conversation, there's no perfect goodbyes. No dramatic moment is ever going to make the loss hurt less. The only thing that stops the pain is the time and your own decisions that you fucking move forward. It's the things that you do for yourself. Your next steps, your process for you. And sometimes even then, it'll take even longer. And I know he'll never listen to this. But if you're listening to this and you're going through something similar, you're still sitting here waiting for closure, waiting for that one last conversation, that final text, that explanation that is supposed to set you free or bring you closer. Ask yourself, what are you actually waiting for? Because deep down, you already know the truth. Because it's in the actions, how people move. Closure doesn't come from them. It doesn't come from their words, their apologies, or some dramatic final moment where everything suddenly makes sense on some ABC fucking special. It doesn't work like that. As much as I like to watch rom-coms and shit like that, it does never works like that. Closure closure is a decision that you make. It's looking at what happened, accepting it for what it is, and choosing. Listen to me. Choosing to move forward anyway. And if you're still out here waiting, if you're still sitting in the rubble of what once was, and ask yourself, are you waiting for closure or are you just waiting for permission to let go? Because if it's the second one, let me do you the favor. You don't fucking need it. But you're going to have to learn it on your own. I know that. I think a lot of us know that we have to learn these things on our own. So if they didn't say goodbye, say it to yourself. If they never gave you a reason, you don't fucking need one. If they didn't give you peace, then go out and make it for your damn self. You know what I mean? No matter which side of this you're on, you don't need closure to heal. You just need the courage to close the door yourself. And when you do that, that's when you finally fucking win. So I want you to sit with that. I want you to look at what you're doing, what you've done, or how you're living right now, and if you're going through it or whatever. Just know that you're not alone and you don't need answers. I think you just need to find yourself. I'll catch you in the next one. And I appreciate you listening. And I know this comes off in a certain type of way or anything like that, but it's not like that. It's not that I'm still hurt. It's that I'm reliving that while I'm watching one of my friends, my close friends, deal with it. And then I'm sitting here listening to old episodes, thinking about my stuff. And it opens up these old wounds. So I'll tell you right now, it's never going to be easy. If you really care, if you really do care, it's never going to be easy. The wound is never going to fully close. You can just do better for yourself and try to be better. And you have to figure out what that better looks like for you. But that's where I'm at. That's where he's at. I think that's where a lot of people in our lives are at right now. They're going through the motions, trying to figure out the things that they lost and figure it out. They don't need to figure that out. They need to figure themselves out. But yeah, like, subscribe, share. Close that door. Or don't. But make a fucking decision. You don't really need that for yourself. You don't need that from anybody else. You just need it for yourself. And I know, if you're watching this, the angles has been weird. I've been trying to do this thing that when I look at the camera, I can't really think and I can't really focus. So I just been looking at a mirror and just trying to work my way through what I'm trying to say in my mind. But this side view, I don't know. It's crazy. It's weird. Thanks. If you're just listening, you just heard me rant about something what I look like, and It doesn't really matter to you. But thank you.